bring up the teams individually as we shoot through them. So in the Atlantic Division, obviously, we're heavy Northeast right here, with the teams with a lot of lineage, a lot of history, a lot of chips, and a lot of disappointment. And that disappointment starts with the New York Knicks. I definitely have them coming in worst in that division, in fifth place. I was anticipating them to actually make a leap this year and maybe get to the middle, maybe even towards the top of that division if they made some good moves over the summer to improve that roster. But I just don't think they did enough. Jalen Brunson is a really good player. He adds a lot of stability to that point guard slot. I would definitely say Jalen Brunson, even though he got that big check, he's definitely in the others category. He was a first round pick, late first round pick, but has really established himself from a bench player to now being a starting point guard who got a fat check. But Julius Randle kind of took a little bit of a step back last year. Go ahead.
So this they record they last few years right here. 37 and 45, 41 and 31 the year before. So they kind of going backwards in some regard. They had a nice improvement though from
the 1920 season.
Yeah, so
But just look at their last 20 seasons, man.
My God, disappointing.
Yeah.
This is the Knicks. This is supposed to be basketball mecca. You understand? And they don't put a good product out there. It starts with the ownership. That's why they suck.
Yeah, ownership, obviously, I guess, was it James Dolan's the president of operations there? I like a couple of the free agent acquisitions when you got Julius Randle. I think they got him through trade, but then also, picking up Jalen Brunson. Those are two really good NBA players. But holistically, Tibbs is his style.
Yeah.
Is it too old school? Is he too much of a hard ass? Or is just the team just that bad? What is?
I think Tibbs is a hell of a coach. He's a great coach, but he's old school. He plays his players too hard, and then on top of that, you see the Knicks have sucked for a long time. He don't play as young player. They don't never develop their bench. That's what's wrong with Tibbs. He never plays his young talent to get them developed. Obi Toppin, he needed to play. He needed to start to get that guy some minutes to get him acclimated to the NBA. But you're right. It's the coaching and it's definitely the ownership.
I do like his hard-nosed style. I think really the biggest reason for they fall off is the inefficiency of Julius Randle. He kind of went backwards from that All-Star year to last year. And R.J. Barrett, which is in some weird way, I guess, getting better, but
not.
Yeah, but not. He's still inefficient as hell.
Yeah.
This summer tier coaching record that I just got up on the screen. He 500?
He's a playoff coach.
Yeah, 500. I mean, got him to the playoffs once out of the 2 years he been there. It's time to show him prove this year, which would be a miracle with that.
But like Rios was saying, they just don't have the roster. They have no one who's going to go out there who can get you 20 points consistently all the time. There's no one on that team. Randle is the man, but he's not that guy.
And they kind of backloaded on the front line. I mean, you just spoke about trying to get Obi Toppin, in the starting rotation. How they're going to do that, with Mitchell. Mitchell is probably their best center. Then, of course, Randle is a four-man. They just paid Mitchell. They gave Mitchell a check last summer. I think Mitchell got a 4-year deal somewhere maybe in the $60 million neighborhood.
So and there you go. There you go with the organization with their bad decision making. He's always hurt. He's always hurt. Why would you get this guy a 4 year? I like his potential. I like what he does when he plays. I'm trying to win.
Incidentally, he played the most games he ever played in his career last year, so that probably had a little something to do with it.
He played 25 minutes a game. I mean, he shot 76% because it's just a damn dunk. Yeah, he's just the old school big man that you put in the dunker and let him clean up and eat glass and just defend and use his athleticism. But isn't Obi Toppin that exact same thing? Isn't that pretty much? I mean, Obi can shoot a little bit.
But he's not a center. You can put Robinson at the center spot, and he can be a very poor man, Ben Wallace.
But you talking about Mitchell?
Yeah, Mitchell.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, he has that type of potential.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's why Oben is not playing over Mitchell.
Here goes some of they team stats from last year. If you guys just kind of want to peruse that real quick, here go Obi down here.
Yeah, I mean, their stats,
4 boards.
Their stats, their stats aren't going to jump off the table. We know that. I mean, the bottom line is
they just developing that talent, though, right? You should. If you suck and not in the playoffs, you're not playing. You're playing to build for the future, right?
But your coach doesn't believe in playing young players,
and that's the issue.
Yeah.
And he's going to run the older players into the ground.
Ask Derrick Rose.
Yeah, yeah, and he still got him some kind of way.
He still got him on this damn slave yard.
Yeah, yeah.
Man,
I mean, dude.
that man was 22-year-old MVP, and 2-3 years later,
And then you can see, obviously,
body worn out.
there's some disconnect between the organization and the coaching staff, because for the organization, and we talk about Cam Reddish all the time, they went out and got Cam Reddish, and everyone expected Cam Reddish to play when he got to New York and tried to see where his talent is and what could he develop into. And he got to New York and instantly got buried on the bench. I don't see how you can get buried on the bench when you just got traded. Like, how can they say it couldn't have been practice habits? Because they don't even practice in the NBA after the trade deadline. Like, they do walkthroughs for the most part. Ain't no, I mean, unless New York with Tibbs is doing a real practice and running guys into the ground. Yeah, probably. And then, young fella was like, he going to show that he don't like to practice. And so, of course, he got buried. But there's some disconnect. They got to really answer some questions in terms of what they're going to do with this stockpile of draft picks that they have, I think. And what are they going to do with Randle long term? Is he really their centerpiece? So now the Knicks are definitely going to be dead last in that division, regardless of whatever moves they try to make going into the season.